Ryan Johnson back with a Knives Out story in the Glass Onion, baby. Benoit is back, and Daniel Craig just chewing the scenery as he did in the first Knives Out. A bit of a sensation, right? You say the first Knives Out was a movie sensation with kind of the revival of the murder mystery
Yeah.
genre.
$400 million off an original movie. I would hope that qualifies as a sensation in 2019. Yeah. Uh, One of the biggest surprises of the year, a pleasant one at that. Um, which of course makes it all the more puzzling that Netflix was like, you know what, we don't want is box office for this. We don't want
Hell
free
no,
money. We
hell
only
no.
want it on the service
As
because
we've
we know.
talked about, Netflix is doing great, Dave. Doesn't need the money.
Yeah, the economics of that is fraught, as I think most people have figured out by now. But alas, at least they put it in almost 700 theaters for a measly week around Thanksgiving. Because I was very happy to see Glass Onion and Knives Out Mystery in the theater as Ryan Johnson intended, and I had a great time.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, do you feel like this one lived up to the first one for you?
Yeah, it's I think it's a bigger movie and it's a less straightforward murder mystery or mystery in general storytelling approach, which I wasn't necessarily expecting. But I think once the key inciting incident in Glass Onion happens, which would be a flashback and a reveal to the audience, some information about character, once that happens, the movie is like on 11 until it ends. And
Yeah, and
just
I think
overall, like you have this bustling A-list ensemble cast once again. Ryan Johnson's talent, a really witty and fun script like the first one, and now we're also in a gorgeous location. This time we're in Greece. You
mhm.
know, there's just so many attributes to enjoy about it. So yeah, I really did like it.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think once you and I think we'll just go spoilers from here on out. So if you haven't seen it, come back.
Yeah, it'll
Um,
be on Netflix at the end of December, so you don't have long to wait.
but once you find out that Janelle Monae's character is a twin who's undercover within this thing, everything just completely flips. And it's funny because when Andy gets shot in the film, I was like, man, they really just wasted Janelle Monae like that. I was like,
Same thing
damn, like
for me.
fucking thankless role, and then completely spins it around. And yeah, I agree. I think a little bit less like murder mystery in a sense, and a little bit more of a like social commentary. I think in a way of
Exactly.
high society, but also just in terms of like these like investors, angel investors, people wielding money to influence maybe not so thought out or more nefarious things going on. So I definitely enjoyed it. I think when it comes to like comparing this one to the first one, I liked the family aspect of the first one a lot, and I think
Sure.
like how unexpected it was also probably plays a role.
Yeah.
But
A good amount.
um, man, it's like 1A 1B really. So definitely a lot to enjoy here. Obviously, like I mentioned, we have Benoit Blanc, Daniel Craig back as kind of the lead role, kind of doling out the rock to everybody here. But who were the other actors that really like stood out to you, or what characters did you like the most?
Yeah, great question. I mean, I just love to have Edward Norton just doing his thing in a movie, a huge aspect of it. I think it is cool to see like Edward Norton in a more like mainstream traditional movie because he hasn't really been doing those kind of roles by his choice for quite some time. But like, I think he really thrived in his role, which is kind of like a aloof billionaire type who has a higher opinion of himself than he probably should. Some obvious parallels to people in reality. I liked him quite a bit. I thought Catherine Hahn was really convincing as a politician type. Like you said,
Marjorie
once
Taylor
Janelle,
Green type.
yeah, once Janelle Monae gets to flashback and we learn so much more about the character, and you're seeing there's multiple sides to that performance. I think that's really engaging. Also awesome to see because she is not like a full time actor as
Mhm.
well, although she's doing that more often now. But I thought she was really quite fun. Um, Also, Kate Hudson, I think, was really great as Birdie, and I think the Birdie character is really effective in terms of what it's doing. Like right off the bat, having her being someone having a quarantine party. Notably, Glass Onion is grounded in COVID, in the pandemic, the height of it. I think that is a cool way to start the film. Cool way to, I think, kind of establish a lot of these characters and their points of views and stuff. And I love also how they wipe that away when they get to Norton's Island and you have Ethan Hawke show up for a brief second and give them some like miracle vaccine that's not for the public. And like that was quite fun. But yeah, K Hudson I enjoyed. Um, Batista, he is what kind of like an Andrew Tate type, right?
Yep.
Probably conceived before Andrew Tate was super mainstream, but you get the idea. Masculine men first right wing kind of person. Batista only has like I think so many moves, but he is quite convincing in kind of like the macho like can make fun of himself style. And that's
Hmm.
kind of what this character was written to be. So I think he was pretty good. I wanted more Jessica Henwick though. You know,
Hmm.
I think she's probably like the least served of the famous people on this movie. Or she only gets so much to do. She's Birdie's assistant. What's her biggest scene? Like one of those like one on ones she has with Birdie that like Blanc or Monet like spy on. Like other than that, like I don't know. I was kind of hoping for more from her, but
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, of course, Craig. I love Craig just kind of letting his hair down
Yeah.
with this role and just having a good time.
Yeah. You can just tell Craig really loves it. I mean, right from the get go when he's playing. What the fuck is that game?
He's playing
Where?
Among Us with
Yeah, Among Us. Thank you. And
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and
Natasha Leone, Serena
Stephen
Williams.
Sondheim.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And no, was this Sondheim? It was someone like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
there was some
anyways,
older women I didn't recognize. But
yeah,
having Blanc, the world's greatest detective, being ass at a
eh,
detective video game is so
so
funny.
funny. Yeah, that was great. And just seeing him like in the bathtub, being like he's like depressed because he doesn't have a case to solve because the world is shut down right now. Really funny.
Right. No
Also,
purpose in life.
shout out Hugh Grant just getting
Yes.
like a 2-second cameo as Blanc's partner. Like
Yep. Love
great
it.
stuff. Um, yeah, and also just a couple other like fun things. Apparently, Joseph Gordon-Levitt was the voice of Miles's clock, which I never would have noticed,
Oh,
but just doing
didn't
some
catch that.
research mentioned
Nice.
that. Yeah, I agree with you. I think like the one I liked the least was probably Leslie Odom Jr.
Right.
I feel like his transition to film has just not been as captivating as I was hoping, especially after he really just shot out of a cannon with Hamilton fame. But
Yeah, he hasn't had
um,
like that like great role yet. You know.
mhm. No, hopefully it happens for him. Yeah, Han is always great, but yeah, Ed Norton was like really just fun to have around, and even though I thought the mystery aspect of it, like it felt pretty obvious it was going to come back around to be Miles by the end, I still just like that he got so much time to just like vamp and be ridiculous, and
Yeah.
he's just so fun to have when he's in this kind of role.
And I think like the red herrings in the movie, like the qualities of a mystery film as you know them, like there's still like, I think a lot of fun.
Hmm.
And I like the way Glass Onion goes, where it's like it's all set. See the way I think they kind of trick you, right? Like they set it up about it being Miles, we're gonna solve his murder, doing his pandemic fun game with his buddies, and
Hmm.
you're expecting Miles to actually get killed, and then they have to figure out who did it, right? And that's actually not what happens. Like I thought that
Hmm.
was like a really like nice twist on audience expectation. And then they're at the dinner table, and you have Blanc completely spoil
Yeah,
Miles's grand
fantastic.
fake murder. The funniest thing
What a
ever. And
moment.
Norton's just like, "You motherfucker!" He's so pissed. That
Yeah.
that was amazing. The way Blanc is so proud of himself, so excited to do it. And then again, they flip it later when you realize that it's all part of Blanc's plan to ruin it early because there's more going on with the movie than you're led to believe.
Yeah, no, I thought that was really, really smart. And yeah, just fun throughout. All the twists that really worked for me. Um, I thought it was like fun to see the flashbacks of all of it. Yeah, I think overall it's hard to like really pick apart like any aspect of the movie. It's just like by far I think one of the best investments Netflix has made movie wise. Because I can just see this being something pretty much anyone can throw on and just enjoy. Um, Also, just want to shout out Jeremy Renner and Jared Leto, who both get like not necessarily cameos, but just like product placement. The Jared Leto kombucha and the Jeremy Renner hot sauce.
Right.
Just thought that was really great. Um, yeah, it was
That's
really just a fun
that's straight
experience.
kombucha. Jared Leto's come. Huge
I
laugh
thought you
moment
didn't
from that
drink.
theater.
How many of those have you had? Like 9.
Yeah, and then her being like really perceptive when she's lit was so funny too. He's like, "She keep drinking." That was great.
Yeah, I was wondering, Monet, she seems primed to maybe take over for Craig in this role, especially if he like takes her on as like an understudy moving forward. I think there is
Oh,
going to be a Knives Out 3, or at least there's
there
been
is.
talk of it. So
That was part of that. No, that was part of the deal.
that's
Uh,
right.
Netflix paid big money, and Lionsgate and Ryan Johnson sold 2 and 3 to Netflix. So we will be getting a third Knives Out mystery at some point soon. Um, I hadn't thought of that. Of not only Craig returning, but Monet returning as well. That is interesting. Um, I would be open to that.
Me too.
Yeah.
I think she'd be a perfect person to pass it on to, honestly. Um, yeah, I mean, if you think about like the locations, right? So they went from a wealthy, like Westchester, Long Island,
Yeah.
maybe like Cape Cod neighborhood to
Yeah.
like
Filmed in the
Greece
Boston area.
Island.
That house.
Where do you think they go next? I think they go like a ski lodge type of deal.
Ooh, now that's a good idea. See, I think this is a very similar thought to where the White Lotus should go for season 3, which of course has been officially renewed by HBO. Same kind of deal, right? White Lotus, Hawaii,
Mhm.
Italian Riviera. Where next? Knives Out's the same thing.
Mm.
Um, yeah, I mean, I would love it to be somewhere stark and flashy, right? I don't know, somewhere in Asia,
Yeah,
perhaps. Easily comes to mind. Um, but ski lodge, I don't know. That sounds pretty cool. Kind of like nod to Bond there as well. Bond, of course, has some famous skiing stuff. Yeah, that's pretty good. Maybe like in the Swiss Alps or something.
oh man,
I
that'd be
don't know.
great.
Yeah,
Love that. Yeah, I was trying to think of somewhere else that might make sense. I mean, maybe like a super yacht, right? Like something
at
ridiculous like
sea.
that is a good.
Yeah, we were pretty oceanic with this one, literally on an
Yep.
island in the Mediterranean. Or then you get that
Can't
joke
get
later where
much.
it's like it's not even the Aegean Sea. He doesn't even know where he is on the map. So fucking
Yeah.
good.
Oh man, when first of all the glass onion by the
Yeah.
Beatles being the play out song was great, but when they walk up and he's playing Blackbird and he's like, yeah, this is actually the guitar Paul wrote this on, and Kate Hudson's character's like, yeah, oh my god, and then he just throws it. It's like, oh, she's really great.
Why's your car way up here?
Yeah,
Well, there's nowhere to drive it on the island, Blanc. Oh my god, Norton was really on one with this, but the script
yeah.
also really helped him out. Like I think like they really wrote I think a lot of these characters well. Even someone who doesn't have a whole lot to do, like Madeline Klein's character, like she's set up. It's like oh
Mhm.
she's just like Batista's arm candy character, but then she actually gets a few moments with Monet to like be about. No, actually she's like independent person trying to focus on her brand, taking advantage of the situation while it's available to her. It's like oh okay, like there was at least a little bit under the hood with even this ancillary character, you know. So
Yep.
yeah, just a great time. And I think like the first one, definitely a movie that by its genesis as a mystery film rewards a second watch once you know what's coming. You can look for and appreciate fuller the red herrings and the suggestions and stuff like that. You know.
Yeah,
I
I'm
think the
looking
Mona
forward to
Lisa
watching it.
stuff was really fun with this one.
Ah, yeah,
Shutting, opening and shutting, you know, at all these notions, and then
with the
really coming
Google
back around
alerts.
at the end, and how like the movie doesn't really end with a reveal so much as a takedown, a personal takedown, like the only way they really could get him, you know.
Hmm.
So yeah, quite satisfying.
For sure. Um, yeah, go watch Glass Onion and Knives Out Story when it hits your Netflix screen